Mark, firstly, congratulations. You're an AFL Hall of Famer. That must sound pretty special.
Yeah, it is special. It's I suppose the culmination of a long career, and I'm very touched by the opportunity, and grateful for being inducted.
It comes on the back of decades and decades in the AFL and football in general. 47 years ago, you made your senior league debut. It's been quite a ride.
Yeah, obviously I played juniors all before that as well, and started over in South Australia, and then played West Adelaide and Port Adelaide. Won a couple of premierships, got in the All Australian side, and then came to see if I could play good enough to make it in the big league over here, and had a great time at Collingwood. But following that, I went to Brisbane, started Brisbane Bears, came back to Port Adelaide, then went to Glenelg, then started coaching people like Lloyd and Lucas at Essendon, and then came back to Port Adelaide and started with Port Adelaide there for a long time. Won a premiership, which was terrific, and here at the MCG, great memories of that particular day back in 2004. Then being part of another startup club in GWS was exciting. Then got the opportunity to come to Richmond in the years that they hadn't made the finals, and be part of that build up to their premierships. I'm very proud of the time I spent with those guys there. Spent a lot of time with Dusty, but Dan Butler and Jaden Short and Ivan Maric and all those sort of players who are now triple or double premiership players. It's very satisfying as a coach. And then I, out of the AFL into the amateurs with Ajax Footy Club, and then down to Werribee. On comes the COVID break, and luckily enough, I got the opportunity by Goody and Richo to give me an opportunity to come here and work with the D's, and I've had the time of my life to be this age, get the opportunity to still stay in footy, be in development, which I'm a teacher. That's what I was when I was playing, and to be able to help develop the young players. Shout out to the DNA group who specifically I look after. Last weekend the Crows versus the Pies, we were all sitting behind the grandstand, up the grandstand there behind the goals, learning about those games and watching the individual players with Sam Radford and Adam Uze and Taylor Whitford, and four of the AFLW girls who, to bring them in and help develop them it's just part of what we do at Melbourne. And I get great joy seeing players improve, and that's where we are. I continue to look forward to those opportunities.
It's an incredible list of names and places that you've been. 47 years in the system. How do you keep that motivation to keep going and keep your passion about the game, which you evidently are still so passionate about?
Yeah, well, to be able to get out there and have a kick before each game with a couple of the players, and try and make them feel right to play, it's great. I do suggest when people get old, trying to keep that little boy or girl inside, and keep referring back to how you felt when you were a kid, and if that keeps you up and about, then you'll stay in the game. And the other thing is to not be stuck in your ways, to keep looking for what's happening, keep your ears and eyes open, being innovative, try and find a way to explain easier, smarter, more clear, so that the players pick up on stuff and improve quicker.
There's probably not an accolade now that exists that isn't on your resume, and you've joined your father in the AFL Hall of Fame. Did you ever expect when you were entering into the sport that you'd have something like that next to your name?
No, I was, it's the same story as everyone. You hope to play one game, and you just build from there, and each good game gives you an opportunity to play the next week, and that's kind of where we're at right now at Melbourne. We have to deliver every week, and we have to get better, and look forward to being absolute at our best come the last game in September.
Just like all those stops along the journey, the one at Melbourne has been a successful one. How have you loved your time in the red and blue?
It's hard to explain. Being on the bench, 7 of the young DNA players were playing in that grand final team over in Perth, and the pride to have a photo with them, and hopefully you'll include that in this story, because there's great pride in that. And we teased the rest of the playing list that they're not in the DNA group, and we're an elite group that want to get better and want to push those that are in their senior team, and that helps the development of our club.
As you mentioned, you're a teacher first and foremost, and a lot of your time here at Melbourne has been refining and developing the skills of our players in that DNA group, as you mentioned. How's that experience been for you?
Look, they're so open to learning. They come to work with a real open mind and a great work ethic. So it makes it a joy. And whether it's Gorney or it's track or it's Angus, it doesn't really matter. They've all got that attitude, and it's what makes coaching easy and fun. And there is a fun element during the week. It's about relationships. You can't be just nailing them all the time. You need to have build those relationships, show that you believe in them and care for them, and they'll do anything for you.
You ran through all the stops along the journey before. Now here at the Melbourne Football Club, what makes it unique?
Well, the thing that I like, and coming from Collingwood, Melbourne is a traditional club. Melbourne is the oldest club. Melbourne has the MCG, so that makes it special. I'm thinking our supporters are starting to, and I heard it in the Collingwood game, are starting to get the idea that they can influence our results, and I look forward to keep developing that, because on the big days we need their help, and it's a bit of a sleeping giant, I reckon. And I'm sitting on the bench and I'm hoping and I'm looking and I'm thinking I'm going to get you out of your seats and yelling you, really with pride at what we do, and know that you have an impact on our results and our performance on the field.
Congratulations again, Choco.
And again, thanks for having me at Demon Lane.